Meditation is the key to accessing the conscious realm, but there are a few different levels you have to go through. We start at awake, and then once we close our eyes, we get to this place. This is just my experience. We get to this place where we have to face stuff and ourself and our monkey brain, the brain that wants to like go from thought to thought. That's where we like manage that area, and then like stuff that arises. Because once we try to start going inward, there's been so much that hasn't been acknowledged that you're going to have to face yourself before you find the silence and before you access the conscious realm. Now, the stuff and a lot of it for me was, can you just relax and not try to say, okay, I'm done with this, okay? Because like, if you think about it, everyone's like, meditation is so hard. I mean, really, it's hard. Is it hard to lay there and go inside and be silent? Like, it seems like the easiest thing when you say it, but obviously it's not, or else everybody would be doing it. But basically, you move from awake to that stuff place, and then you get to the silence. And the silence is the key that allows access to the conscious realm. And in the silence, that is where we're starting to disconnect from our reality to match the frequency that's in alignment with the conscious realm, because we vibrate at a certain frequency and the conscious realm is at a certain frequency, and we need to get in a different state to access the conscious realm. And that's why we have to move through that. We have to move through the blocks, move through the silence, and then that's where you access it. I did a visionary meditation this morning. I've been doing Joe Dispenza's meditations for the last 3 months. I've probably been done 10 of them, between 30 minutes, an hour, and 2-hour meditations. And I've gotten really good at it. I was going to say something else. That stuff area, once you do meditation over and over again, you don't have to go through that. It eliminates. So you just close your eyes and you can relax with breath and get right into the silence and then into consciousness realm. And in the consciousness realm, that's where you do more healing and you can access, wisdom team, your spirit guides, and all that kind of stuff. But this morning I did a meditation, Joe Dispenza's meditation intermission. It was 30 minutes. And I'm just going to kind of go through what I wrote, because sometimes it's hard to remember. I know I didn't write everything down that I experienced in my session this morning, because I was taking time to write stuff down and I just didn't get to it and I forgot, which is the unfortunate part about these kind of meditations. You go through a lot. It's like moving through an ayahuasca. You move through trauma and things that you face for yourself, and then you get out of it and you're like, I was in a deep state and now I can't write it down. So I always have a journal with me. My intention, I wrote in my notes app for this meditation, is to show me something that will blow me away. Because I was like, okay, I want to just see something crazy, okay? I have never had a Kundalini experience until today. Okay, so first of all, the breath work, it's just taking deep breaths and pulling in and pulling into your heart. And before I even started pulling in, I noticed that my heart was pink and it was moving, when you put that shimmer in water and when you spin it around, it moves. That's what my heart looked like. And then every time I was doing the breath, breathing in, I was breathing in pink energy that matched my heart. And I watched the pink energy flow and get in here every time I would breathe. I was focusing on my breath, focusing on the movement and pulling into my heart area. And that's the way that I am able to get through after that, I get through the silence and right into the conscious realm. You just have to practice, honestly. It becomes so easy. Now it's fun. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to see this time? So there was a gold snake moving up my spine and taking its time. So immediately after I was doing the breath, I noticed a snake at the back of my butt, and it was gold. And I saw it moving up my spine, and it was going really slowly. So it started at the base, at my root chakra, and was moving around and spinning. And I was like, am I about to have a fucking Kundalini awakening? I was like, I've never, you're like, is that kind of shit bullshit? I'm like, I've been a spiritual person for 20 years and I've never had a Kundalini awakening, but I see all these people spiritually like, yeah, I had a Kundalini awakening. It literally went all the way up my spine, all the way up around and went all the way up to the back of my head, like where my spine would be at the back of my head. And then I went into top view, like if I was looking for the top, so I see my head from the top, and I watched the snake go up, and then it just starts moving through the parts of my brain from the back of my head to the very front. So it was like, you know how the brain like looks like all like wrinkly? I saw the snake like moving through all the wrinkles, and I was like, oh my god, because I'm like conscious right there too. I'm like, I didn't know the snake moves through the brain, you know, because you think Kundalini awakening goes out. I didn't know that it moved through the brain, so I was like kind of confused. I was like, what's happening? And then I get like a side profile view, like a silhouette, or like a side profile of me, and I watch the snake like moving through my brain, and it comes right out the center of my head and turns into a snake, like a Cleopatra, like Egyptian, like headdress, and I immediately get dropped into a past life or a parallel life, and I am in a huge vault full of wealth, jewels, lots of gold, and it looks like I'm sitting on a raft. Like I was just like this in the gold, sitting there, and you know how you like on your raft in the pool, like pick up the water and let it drip? Like that's what I was doing, and I was like, it was me, but I was in beige again, and this is what I'm noticing whenever I have these high vibrational visionary meditations with myself. I always seem, and look, I wear black. I'm always wearing black in this reality, but my highest self is always in beige. So maybe I should like switch it up. And I was like, wow, this is my place. And I realized that it was a palace, but it was like a palace it was a small palace, and I realized that she was very wealthy, but she was still humble. That's why she had the small palace, right? But also, I am in my like wealth building era right now in this reality. Like I am working on building generational wealth through the creations that I am bringing forth into the world. So like this just aligned, and like after that like view of the vault, I went to like, that was my basement. I had a vault of jewels and gems and gold in my basement, and then the next scene it was like up above. I want to show you this bird, but let's see. And we get to the next scene, and it was like we were upstairs. So like the vault was in the basement, and we were upstairs on like the street view because I could see people like walking outside. And I was like, wow, this is my place. Like I made this, I built this, I created this with what I made. And then all of a sudden a man comes in and into the scene, like comes in, and I see us just like looking at each other in love. And then he leaves, and my fucking house is gone. Not gone, but I was still in my house, but it was empty. And then I pulled money back in, and then again a man comes in, and we're looking at each other in love. And then the money goes, and the man goes. And that happened one more time. Let's look at my notes. I felt called to move while sitting. Okay, this is back where my... Let's see. I'm blanking on some other things. So anyway, the focus was, I remember thinking, how can I remember but flow? I don't know what that means. Not easy to relay meditation. Yeah, because I was like, I couldn't remember the stuff that I was saying. I was also thinking about how easy it is to get under, how I want to get a brain scan. Oh, yeah, after I got it. Now, I'm telling you, now I can just go under and get these visionary meditations. It's amazing. Okay, so basically that's what it was. Like, after that, I think it just ended. I remember there was something else that happened, but I just didn't remember it. So I just wanted to share that. I've been having these visionary meditations for the last I've had these visionary meditations ever since I've started these Joe Dispenza meditations. You can look at my past videos and see the ones that I've recorded my sharing. Anybody can do it. You just have to practice and learn to say no to yourself in terms of like getting up and getting over it, and really push yourself for those 1 hours. Hope you enjoyed that, and blessings to you, my friends.